The screen flickered to life with the sound of labored breathing. Chief Ebi's body hit the floor with a heavy thud that echoed through the small apartment. His chest heaved violently, sweat pouring down his face like someone had poured a bucket of water over him. "My husband! Oh God, my husband, don't die!" Bella screamed, her voice cracking with panic as she dropped to her knees beside him. "You promised me marriage. You said we would be together. Don't leave me now." The camera pulled back slowly, revealing the chaos of the moment. Scattered clothes, an overturned chair, and in the background, a woman's wig hanging from a lampshade. Chief Ebi's eyes rolled back, his lips moving but producing no sound. Everything went black. Then, a voice emerged from the darkness, calm and knowing. To understand how Chief Ebi ended up here, gasping for air in another woman's apartment, we must go back. Back to when love was pure, when promises meant something, and when a man didn't know that some decisions would cost him everything. The scene dissolved into warm sunlight and the bustling streets of Port Harcourt. Young Ebi stood outside a half-finished building, phone pressed to his ear, his shirt stained with cement dust. "Yes, sir, the proposal will be ready tomorrow. I promise you, sir." "Tomorrow morning sharp," Ebi said, shifting his weight nervously from foot to foot. He had been saying tomorrow for 3 weeks now. As he hung up, a voice called out from across the street. "Ebi, are you still standing there making promises you cannot keep?" He turned to see Dora walking toward him, her wrapper tied neatly around her waist, a small bag of oranges in her hand. Even in her simple clothes, she moved with a grace that made his heart skip. "Dora, my love, you know I will make it. God will answer our prayers," Ebi said, reaching for her hand. She smiled, the kind of smile that could make a broke man feel like a king. "I know. That is why I brought you oranges. You need to eat something." "You are too good to me," he whispered. "And you," she replied, squeezing his hand, "you write me the most beautiful letters. Last week, you quoted Proverbs 31. You called me a virtuous woman even though we are not yet married." Ebi grinned. "Because that is what you are. The wife God created for me." Their wedding came 6 months later, a small gathering in Dora's family compound. The jollof rice ran out before half the guests had eaten. Ebi's cousins arrived late, faces long with disappointment. "Oh, the meat finished," one cousin complained loudly. "We drove all the way from Elim for this?" Another guest whispered, not quite quietly enough, people were fighting for small meat like it was election ballot paper. But Dora didn't care. She held Ebi's hand throughout the ceremony, her eyes bright with hope. When the pastor asked if she would love him in poverty and in wealth, she answered without hesitation. "I will. Because I am not marrying his pocket. I am marrying his heart." The early days of their marriage filled the small apartment they rented in Mama Kolo with laughter. Every evening, Ebi would come home and call out, "Mama." And Dora would reply from the kitchen, "Papa." Their neighbors often commented on them. "Those two, they are always playing like children," one woman said with envy in her voice. Dora prayed every morning before dawn, kneeling beside their bed, whispering supplications for Ebi's success. She fasted on Wednesdays, attended prayer meetings on Fridays, and never missed church on Sundays. "Lord," she would pray, "let my husband's breakthrough come. Open the doors no man can shut." One Tuesday evening, Ebi's phone rang with an unknown number. He answered cautiously. "Hello. Mr. Ouru. This is Commissioner Amodi's office. Your proposal has been approved. We need you to come sign the contract documents tomorrow at 10. The phone nearly slipped from Ebi's trembling hands. "Contract? Which contract, sir?" "The road construction project. 30 million naira. Come tomorrow with your company documents." When the call ended, Ebi stood frozen, staring at nothing. Dora came out of the bedroom, concern creasing her forehead. "Ebi, what is it?" You look like you've seen a ghost. He turned to her slowly, tears forming in his eyes. Dora, God has answered. We got the contract. She flew into his arms, and they both wept, right there in their small sitting room, holding each other as years of struggle melted away in that single moment. If you're enjoying this story, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what happens next. Trust me, things are about to get very interesting. The money changed things faster than Ebi expected. New clothes appeared in his wardrobe, expensive perfumes replaced his old aftershave, and his phone rang constantly with calls from people who had never noticed him before. Chief Ebi, they called him now, a title he had not earned but accepted readily. New friends emerged from nowhere. Men who claimed they had always known he would succeed, women who suddenly remembered they had been his classmates in primary school. Dora noticed the late nights first. Ebi, it is past 10. Where are you coming from? Business meeting, my dear. You know how these government contracts work. We have to attend dinners, network with the right people. But you did not eat the food I prepared. I will eat it tomorrow. I am tired now. He kissed her forehead and went straight to the bedroom, his new phone buzzing with messages he quickly turned face down on the nightstand. The contractor's dinner happened on a Friday night at a hotel in GRA. Ebi wore his new agbada, feeling like he finally belonged among the big men. The ballroom glittered with chandeliers, and the air smelled of expensive cologne and ambition. That was when Bella Madu made her entrance. She walked in like she owned the room, her gold jewelry catching the light with every step. Her dress hugged curves that seemed designed to distract men from their marriage vows. Her perfume arrived 3 seconds before she did, announcing her presence like a town crier. Is that Chief Owuru? She called out in a voice that carried across the room. The man who constructed that beautiful road in Elim. Ebi turned, flattered that someone this striking knew his work. Yes. That was my project. She extended her hand, her nails painted a deep red. I am Bella Madu. Everybody knows Bella. I deal in supplies, contracts, and connecting the right people to the right opportunities. As they shook hands, someone at Ebi's table whispered, that woman smells like new money and bad decisions. But Ebi didn't hear. He was already captivated by the way Bella looked at him, like he was the most important person in the room. You know, Chief, Bella said, leaning closer than necessary, a man like you needs someone who understands the stress of these government contracts. Someone who knows how hard you work, how much pressure you carry. My wife understands, Ebi said, but his voice lacked conviction. Bella smiled knowingly. I am sure she does. But does she understand the loneliness of sitting in meetings with politicians? The exhaustion of negotiating with commissioners? Does she know how to massage your shoulders after a long day of inspections? Something dangerous stirred in Ebi's chest, a feeling he should have recognized as temptation but chose to interpret as connection. Over the following weeks, Bella appeared everywhere. At sites where Ebi was working, at restaurants where he ate lunch, at churches where he attended Thanksgiving services. Each time, she acted surprised to see him. Chief Ebi. What a coincidence. But there were no coincidences. Bella Madu was a hunter, and she had chosen her prey. She started bringing him lunch at his office. Fried rice cooked with so much curry it tasted like a spice shop had exploded, but Ebi ate it anyway because she sat across from his desk, watching him with eyes that made him feel powerful. You know what I love about you, Chief, she said one afternoon. You are not like these other men who forget where they came from. You still have that humble spirit. My wife taught me that, Ebi admitted, a flicker of guilt crossing his face. Your wife must be a special woman, Bella said, her voice dripping with false admiration. You should bring her to my shop sometime. I sell the best fabrics in Port Harcourt. That evening, Bella sat in her apartment, phone in hand, scrolling through Dora's Facebook and Instagram profiles. She studied every photo, every caption, every comment. So this is the woman holding my chief, she muttered to herself. Simple wrapper, simple hairstyle, simple everything. Let me show her what upgrade looks like. The next Sunday, Bella attended the same church as Dora. She wore an outfit almost identical to one Dora had posted 2 weeks earlier, but with expensive lace instead of cotton, with gold accessories instead of simple earrings. During offering time, when Dora dropped her envelope into the basket, Bella walked to the altar with a dramatic flourish and placed a bundle of cash down, announcing loudly, for the building project. 100,000 naira. The church erupted in applause. The pastor called for special prayers for this blessed daughter. Dora clapped along with everyone else, smiling genuinely, having no idea she was applauding the woman actively trying to destroy her marriage. She was literally clapping for her own enemy. Comment below if you've ever trusted someone who was secretly working against you. And don't forget to like this video. Bella's boldest move came at a business dinner Ebi had mentioned casually. She arrived early, found his reserved table, and sat in the seat meant for Dora, who Ebi had said might come late from her prayer meeting. When Ebi walked in and saw Bella sitting there, surprise flashed across his face. Bella. What are you? Chief. I saw your name on the guest list and thought I would save you a seat. You know how these events are, people rushing to sit with the important guests. Before Ebi could respond, the MC's voice boomed through the speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, let us acknowledge Chief Ebi Owuru and his beautiful wife. The spotlight swung to their table, illuminating Bella, who smiled and waved like she owned the title. At that exact moment, the ballroom doors opened. Dora walked in wearing a simple Ankara wrapper and matching blouse, her hair in a modest style, carrying herself with quiet dignity. The room froze. The MC's microphone produced a sharp feedback screech. Someone's fork clattered against a plate. Dora's eyes met Ebi's across the room, then shifted to Bella sitting in what should have been her seat. For 3 long seconds, nobody moved. Then Dora turned and walked out, her wrapper swishing behind her with a dignity that made Bella's expensive lace look cheap. Ebi found her in the parking lot, standing beside his car, tears streaming down her face. Dora, please, it is not what you think. What I think, she interrupted, her voice breaking. Ebi, I don't think anything. I saw everything. That woman was sitting in my place like she belongs there. She just sat down. I didn't know she would. You didn't know. Dora's voice rose. You didn't know that woman has been circling our marriage like a vulture. You didn't know she wears copies of my clothes. You didn't know she gives offerings in church just to make me look small. Ebi stood silent, caught in a web of his own making. I have been praying for you, Dora continued, her voice dropping to a whisper. Every morning, I pray for your success, for your protection, for our marriage. And this is what my prayers have brought me. Humiliation in front of everybody. Dora, please. Take me home, Ebi. Just take me home. The drive back was silent except for Dora's quiet crying. When they reached home, she went straight to the bedroom and locked the door. Ebi stood outside, phone buzzing in his pocket. A message from Bella, sorry about the confusion, Chief. I didn't know your wife was coming. Let me make it up to you. Come to my house tomorrow. I will cook your favorite soup. He should have deleted the message. Should have blocked the number. Should have pounded on the bedroom door until Dora let him in so he could beg properly. Instead, he saved Bella's address and told himself he would go just to tell her to stop. Just to set boundaries. Just to make things clear. The next afternoon, Ebi's secretary knocked on his office door. Sir, someone sent lunch for you. She placed a flask on his desk, labeled with pink letters, for my darling chief. With love. 30 minutes later, another knock. The secretary's face showed confusion. Sir, your wife is here. She brought lunch too. Dora walked in carrying her own flask, homemade egusi soup that she had woken up at 5 a.m. to prepare. Her eyes fell on the pink flask already sitting on Ebi's desk. "What is that?" she asked quietly. The secretary, sensing danger, tried to leave, but Dora's voice stopped her. "Who brought that flask?" "I." "Ma, it was from the other madam." The words hung in the air like smoke from a funeral pyre. "The other madam." Dora set her flask down carefully, her hands remarkably steady. She looked at Ebi, really looked at him, and he saw something break behind her eyes. "I see," she said. "So now there is another madam bringing you food. How nice." "Dora, I can explain." "Explain to the other madam," she said, turning toward the door. "Let her explain why she is labeling flasks, my darling chief. Let her explain why she knows what you like to eat. Let her explain everything." She walked out, leaving her flask behind. Ebi reached for it, but his hands were shaking too badly to unscrew the lid. That evening, desperate and foolish, Ebi drove to Bella's apartment. She opened the door wearing a nightgown that left little to imagination, her smile victorious. "Chief, I knew you would come. I was just thinking about you." The apartment smelled of incense and something else, something sweet and cloying that made Ebi's head feel heavy. "Bella, we need to talk," he said, but his voice sounded weak even to his own ears. "Of course, Chief. But first, let me get you something to drink. You look stressed." She disappeared into the kitchen. Ebi sat on her couch, noticing for the first time how everything in the apartment seemed designed for seduction. Red curtains, dim lighting, soft music playing from hidden speakers. What he didn't notice was Bella in the kitchen, pulling out a small bottle from her refrigerator. A bottle given to her by Mama Kolo, the woman everyone whispered about, the woman who lived in a compound at Mile 1 where people went when prayers weren't working fast enough. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Things are about to take a dark turn. 3 days earlier, Bella had sat in Mama Kolo's consultation room, a space that smelled of herbs and desperation. "Mama, I need this man," Bella had said, placing money on the table between them. "I have done everything. I have cooked for him, dressed for him, even gone to his church. But his wife's hold is still strong." Mama Kolo, a woman whose age nobody could guess, smiled with teeth stained red from chewing cola nut mixed with substances best left unnamed. "This wife," she prays. Mama Kolo asked. "Every morning. Like her life depends on it. Then we must work while she sleeps." Mama Kolo stood, her wrapper dragging on the floor as she moved to a shelf crowded with bottles and bundles. "You will bring me 3 things. His hair, her clothing, and a photo of them together." "How will I get these things?" "You are already in his office, no? In his space. These things will come to you if you are patient." Bella nodded, her desperation overriding any moral hesitation. "And when you bring them," Mama Kolo continued, "we will do the coconut binding. It is very powerful. Once we tie her clothing to the coconut and seal it, her hold on him will weaken. He will see her but not feel love. He will come home but not stay. His heart will turn from her and toward you." "How much?" Bella asked. Mama Kolo named a price that made Bella's eyes widen, but she agreed. She had invested too much time, too much money, too much of herself into this plan to back out now. Getting what Mama Kolo needed proved easier than expected. Ebi's barber swept his hair into a pile that Bella simply asked for, claiming she needed it for something special. The barber, used to strange requests from women chasing his clients, didn't question it. Dora's clothing came from Ebi's car, where she had left a wrapper after changing for church one Sunday. Bella volunteered to return it but never did. The photo she pulled from Ebi's office during one of her visits, a small frame he kept on his desk showing him and Dora on their wedding day, both of them young and hopeful and completely unaware that this moment would be used against them. Mama Kolo worked by candlelight, her hands moving with practiced precision. She took a coconut and carved Dora's name into its surface. Then she wrapped Dora's clothing around it, tying it with 7 knots while chanting words in a language Bella didn't recognize. This coconut is now her womb, her heart, her place in his life, Mama Kolo explained. As we seal it, so her influence seals. As we bury it, so her voice in his head will be buried. She placed Ebi's hair inside the coconut through a small hole, mixed it with other substances, then sealed the hole with wax. The final step, Mama Kolo said, is to give him something to drink from your hand. Something that carries your essence. I will prepare it. Now, 3 days later, Bella poured that preparation into a glass of juice, her hands trembling slightly. She had not asked what was in the bottle. She didn't want to know. She brought the drink to Ebi, who accepted it gratefully. You are too kind, Bella. Anything for you, Chief. He drank deeply, the sweetness masking the bitter undertone. Within minutes, his head began to swim. The room tilted slightly. Bella, I don't feel well, he said, setting the glass down with difficulty. It is just stress, Chief. Come, lie down for a moment. She helped him to her bedroom, and that was when everything went wrong. Ebi's chest began to pound, not like a normal heartbeat but like something was trying to break out from inside him. Sweat poured from his skin. His breathing came in gasps. Bella, something is wrong. He collapsed, his body hitting her floor with that heavy thud, and Bella's victory turned instantly to panic. Chief Ebi. Wake up. She shook him, then remembered the carefully crafted story she needed to maintain. My husband. Oh God, my husband, don't die. You promised me marriage. She called for an ambulance, her mind racing. If he died here, questions would be asked. If he lived but remembered, everything would be exposed. Either way, her carefully constructed plan was crumbling. At the hospital, chaos erupted. Bella filled out the admission forms, writing the wife in the relationship column without hesitation. The nurses, busy with emergency protocols, didn't question it. But someone had called Dora. Maybe the secretary, maybe a concerned friend, maybe God himself intervening. Dora arrived 40 minutes later, her face a mask of controlled terror. She walked into the emergency room to find Bella sitting in the waiting area, crying dramatically into a handkerchief, telling anyone who would listen, my husband, my chief, please God, don't take him from me. Your husband. Dora's voice cut through the room like a knife. Bella looked up, her tears freezing on her face. Yes, Dora said, walking closer, please tell me more about your husband. Tell me about the man who married me 8 years ago. Tell me about the man whose children I bore. Tell me about my husband. The waiting room went silent. A nurse whispered, 2 wives. I am not his wife, Bella said, her voice shrinking. I meant. You meant exactly what you said, Dora interrupted. You have been trying to become his wife. Cooking for him, following him, sitting in my seat, bringing lunch to his office. Did you think I was blind? Before Bella could respond, a doctor emerged. Mrs. Owuru. Both women moved forward, then froze, looking at each other. The doctor's confusion was evident. Which one of you is Mrs. Owuru? Dora reached into her bag and pulled out her marriage certificate, her hands shaking but her voice steady. I am Mrs. Dora Owuru. His wife. The only wife. This woman is whoever she is, but she is not his wife. The doctor nodded and gestured for Dora to follow him, leaving Bella standing alone in the waiting room, her shame visible to everyone present. Inside the room, Ebi lay connected to monitors, his chest rising and falling with assistance from oxygen. The doctor explained that his collapse appeared to be caused by a severe reaction to an unknown substance. Did your husband take any drugs? Consume anything unusual? Dora's mind worked quickly. He was at another woman's house. You should ask her what she gave him. The doctor's eyebrows rose. I see. We'll need to run more tests. When Ebi finally opened his eyes hours later, his vision was blurry. He saw two figures standing on opposite sides of his bed and whispered, "Is this heaven or hell?" "Hell is what you deserve," Dora said quietly. "But heaven gave you another chance." His eyes focused enough to recognize both women. Bella stood near the door, her earlier bravado completely gone. Dora stood beside his bed, her face wet with tears she had not allowed herself to cry in public. "Dora," he whispered. "Don't," she said, holding up her hand. "Don't say my name right now. Don't say anything right now." What nobody noticed was the hospital cleaner in the corner of the room, phone held low, recording everything. By the next morning, the video had spread through Port Harcourt like a wildfire in Harmattan season. Chief Ebi collapsed inside Chick's house. The headlines wrote themselves. Church WhatsApp groups exploded with messages. Prayer warriors who had interceded for Ebi's business success now interceded for his marriage. Men he had called friends suddenly didn't recognize his number when he called. Share this video if you believe karma is real. And drop a comment about what you think should happen next. Bella's landlord knocked on her door 3 days later. "Madam, I am sorry, but you have to leave." "What? Why?" "I paid my rent." "It is not about rent. It is about reputation. Your video has brought shame to this compound. Other tenants are complaining. I don't want trouble. Take your refund and find another place." Bella had become infamous overnight. Women pointed at her in markets. Her own friends stopped answering her calls, afraid the scandal would contaminate them by association. But the worst was yet to come. 2 weeks after Ebi's collapse, Mama Kolo appeared at Bella's new apartment, a place she should not have known about since Bella had not given her the address. "Mama, what are you doing here?" "I need my balance," Mama Kolo said simply. The charm worked too well. When something works too well, it requires extra payment. "But I paid you already." "That was for the binding. This is for the unbinding. Because now the coconut is angry. It has tasted his spirit and wants more. If you don't pay me to unbind it, the charm will eat both of you." "What do you mean eat us?" Mama Kolo smiled that disturbing smile. "You will see. Already, you are feeling it, yes. The itching that won't stop. The dreams of coconuts chasing you." Bella's blood ran cold. She had been scratching her skin raw for days, thinking it was just stress. And the dreams, she had dismissed them as anxiety, but how did Mama Kolo know? "How much?" Bella whispered. The amount Mama Kolo named was 3 times the original price. Bella didn't have it. Her savings had been depleted trying to maintain the lifestyle she thought would win Ebi. "I don't have that money, Mama." "Then the coconut will continue its work," Mama Kolo said, turning to leave. "It will drain you slowly. Your hair will fall. Your skin will suffer. Your womb will close. And when it is finished with you, it will go back to him, because his spirit is also tied to it." Bella slammed the door, her breathing ragged. This couldn't be happening. She had just wanted what she thought she deserved. She had just wanted to be somebody's wife, to be called madam, to have what Dora had. But what Dora had, Bella realized too late, was not Ebi. It was peace. It was grace. It was the blessing of a clear conscience and a faithful heart. Over the following weeks, Bella's decline became visible. Her hair, once thick and lustrous, began to thin. Patches appeared on her skin that no cream could heal. She visited hospitals, but doctors found nothing wrong. She visited churches, but pastors sensed something they could not name and asked her to leave. One finally told her the truth. "Sister, you tied what does not belong to you. And what you tie in darkness will strangle you in light. Go back to wherever you got this charm and beg them to release you." Bella never went back to Mama Kolo. Pride wouldn't let her. Instead, she packed what remained of her things and moved away from Port Harcourt entirely, leaving behind only her reputation and the whispered stories about the woman who tried to steal another woman's husband and paid the price. Meanwhile, Ebi's world continued its collapse. The video's virality reached government circles. The same commissioners who had smiled and shaken his hand at dinners now avoided his calls. Contracts that had been promised disappeared like smoke. "Chief, I am sorry, but we cannot award this project to you now. You understand, there is too much talk. We have to consider public perception." His bank account, once growing steadily, began to shrink. Workers needed payments, suppliers demanded money, and clients who owed him found convenient excuses to delay. But the worst part was going home each day to a wife who treated him with politeness instead of love. Dora cooked his meals but no longer asked about his day. She washed his clothes but folded them in silence. She slept in their bed but built an invisible wall down the middle that he dared not cross. "Dora, please, talk to me," he begged one evening. "What should I say, Ebi? What words do you want to hear?" "I am sorry. I am so sorry. I was stupid, I was foolish, You were greedy," she said simply. "Money came and you thought you deserved more than what God gave you. You thought you deserved a flashy woman to match your new status. You thought I was too simple, too ordinary, not enough for the big chief you had become. That is not true. Then what is true, Ebi? Tell me what is true." He couldn't answer because she was right. In his pursuit of validation from people who didn't matter, he had devalued the one person who had always mattered. "Dora, I will do anything. Anything to fix this." She looked at him with eyes that had cried every tear they had left. "Ebi, I didn't fight you. I never fought you. When that woman was bringing you lunch, I prayed. When she sat in my seat, I prayed. When she tried to take my place, I prayed. I didn't fight because fighting shows fear, and I was not afraid. I knew that what God gave me, no charm can take away." "You knew. You knew about the charm." "I didn't know the details, but I felt something was wrong. The way you looked through me instead of at me. The way you forgot our anniversary but remembered her phone number. That was not just adultery, Ebi. That was something darker." She stood up, wrapping her arms around herself. "But here is what you need to understand. I prayed for peace, not for revenge. I prayed for God to protect what belongs to me and expose what doesn't. And He did. That woman is gone. Her charm has backfired. Your business is suffering. All of it is consequences of choices you made. So what now?" Ebi asked, his voice breaking. "Now you decide. Do you want peace or chaos? Because you cannot have both. You cannot have a wife who prays for you and a side chick who charms you. You cannot have a faithful home and a wandering eye. You have to choose." Ebi fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. "I choose you. I choose us. I choose peace." Dora looked down at him, and for the first time in weeks, something soft crossed her face. "Then prove it. Not with words, Ebi. With time. With faithfulness. With the same commitment you showed when we had nothing." The months that followed were not easy. Trust, once broken, rebuilt slowly. But Ebi showed up every day. He deleted numbers, avoided places where temptation lived, and focused on rebuilding what he had nearly destroyed. His business recovered slowly. Not to its former heights, but enough. He learned that respect earned through character lasts longer than fame earned through connections. Dora healed at her own pace. Some days she could laugh with him like before. Other days, the hurt surfaced and she needed space. He gave it to her, learning finally that love means respecting boundaries, not just crossing them. The story ended not with a dramatic reconciliation, but with something more valuable: restoration. Slow, painful, honest restoration. A woman who fights you while you are peaceful is fighting the grace you carry. And a man who doesn't know the value of peace will pay for chaos. Chief Ebi learned this lesson the hard way. Bella learned that what you steal through manipulation, you cannot keep through any means. And Dora, she learned that sometimes the greatest victory is not fighting at all, but trusting that what is yours will remain yours, and what isn't will remove itself. If this story touched you, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe to this channel for more stories that teach us lessons we need to learn. Drop a comment below telling us what you think Chief Ebi should have done differently. And remember, in the pursuit of more, don't lose sight of enough. Because enough, when appreciated, is always more than you need.